You know, I can't be the only weirdo out there. There's gotta be other people weird like me, right? Hey besties, and welcome back. I am still not fully back into the swing of things from my little vacation to get married, so if this video is a little all over the place, the fact that it's more of a sit-down chit-chatty video today instead of a normal beauty video, bear with me. I just need to get back into the swing of things. Let's talk about being normal. I'm not normal. And I feel like I remember the very moment that I decided that's it, I'm done pretending. Let's give y'all a little bit of background. When I was a kid, I never really had many friends. I had a handful of them. When I was in 5th grade, I became friends with my best friend Casey, who if you've watched me for any amount of time, you know. But I never really had friends that were in my class. I also feel like I didn't have many actual friends. I was in a lot of friend groups, but I was always on the outskirts. I was never the chosen friend. I was never the first person that someone messaged. But if there was ever a group thing going on, I heard about it. I got invited to group things, but I was never the first one that somebody messaged, except for Casey, obviously. I feel like I also didn't have my own personality. My personality when I was a kid definitely was based on what friend group I was hanging out with at that point. You know, one friend group liked this, so I would lean into talking about that all the time. A different friend group liked this other thing, so I would lean into that. It was very much based on who I was hanging out with. I feel like even when you get older, that still ends up true to an extent. I definitely have noticed that different friends bring out different sides of me. I have my own personality now. I know what I like and what I don't like, but different friends bring out different sides of that. But as a kid, I didn't know who I was. For example, I knew what music I liked, what movies I liked, what TV shows I liked. But if other people didn't like them, I hid it. I didn't let people know who I was. You know, if someone was like, oh, I love Eminem, I'd be like, oh, awesome, I love Eminem too. Yes, I do actually like and respect Eminem and like his music. That's nothing against him, but give me Fall Out Boy any day over Eminem. So much of me makes me weird or a freak. And I finally stopped caring about that. It just took me way longer than I'm proud to admit. When did I start trying to fit in? As far back as I can remember, I tried to fit in with everyone. I don't just mean my classmates. I mean, back in elementary and middle school, I was on Harry Potter fan forums, okay? I was writing fan fiction. I was a part of fan forums back in the day. I was an OG fangirl. We don't respect J.K. Rowling. We hate everything she represents, but we were big fans of Harry Potter. Then my fandom changed when I was introduced to One Tree Hill by my dad, of all people. So like anyone that has any issues with my One Tree Hill obsession can blame my father for that. And you can't speak ill of my father because he died, and you can't speak ill of the dead. Therefore, you can't speak ill of my One Tree Hill obsession. Boom, lawyered. No, but like for real, my dad was like, hey, the dude from Gilmore Girls is in this, and you like Gilmore Girls, so like you might like this. And I'm like, okay, bet. And then look what happened. But even back then, even on the fan forums, I tried to fit in so well. I tried to get approval of everyone else on fan forums. As a fangirl, I tried to get acceptance by fandoms, even if it was stating that I had opinions that weren't actually my opinions, but that made me fit in. As I got older, that translated to trying to fit in everywhere. I took MySpace photos that looked exactly like how all the other girls' MySpace pictures looked. I designed my MySpace profile to look exactly how other people's MySpace profiles looked. When I first discovered YouTube and I felt truly seen, I started putting out content just like other people did. All the while, behind the scenes, here I am in my free time, just watching One Tree Hill, making One Tree Hill fan videos for my old YouTube channel, doing my makeup in all these over-the-top avant-garde ways that I would never wear out of the house. Writing so much fan fiction. That's what brought me joy. That's what I love to do. When I was 14 years old, I literally went to North Carolina to meet the cast of One Tree Hill, and everyone thought I was being extra by doing that. But like, still a core memory for me. Still genuinely one of the best experiences of my life. So glad that I did that, but I got so made fun of for it. So I didn't talk about it. People knew, but I didn't talk about it. I was just talked about. In college, I had some good friends, but a lot of people also thought that I was weird. I decorated my dorm with things from theater. I was a big theater fan. I loved music. I loved certain TV shows. I loved Glee. As much as I hate to admit that, back in the early seasons, I loved Glee. While the other girls were princess core and Hello Kitty core and were having Jersey Shore nights in their dorm rooms, I was doing fun, bright colors that brought me joy for my bedding. I had Glee and theater memorabilia up on the walls. I hosted Glee nights in the dorm room for people that liked Glee, but I was considered weird. And I kept trying to mask it. I kept being like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna do this anymore. Maybe I'll do this to be normal. Maybe I'll do that to be normal. Taking down my theater posters and instead just putting up pictures of me and my friends. Not hosting Glee nights anymore because that was weird. Not talking about, oh, this show is on tour and I'm going to go see it, or oh, I'm going to New York this week and see this show. Wouldn't talk about it because it was weird. I got made fun of for it. I stopped posting on YouTube because it was weird, and that carried through into adulthood. The moment that I finally made my decision to be myself, it was early 2019. This involved some people that probably don't want me to talk about them, but I'm going to anyways. I'm just going to change their names. Let's also, a little more background. 2017, I went through a very traumatic breakup. Jumped way too quickly into a relationship with somebody else who I ended up also ending things with. That is my ex that passed away. When I ended things with him, I got kind of back together-ish with my on-off ex-situationship, whatever you would call him. Someone that I'd been on and off with since like my senior year of high school, but it was very on and off. I didn't even know from one week to the next if we were on or off. My mental health was teetering. I was struggling to hold it together most days, and I made a friend at work. Let's just call her Ruby. Ruby came into my life when I really, really needed her. She was the first friend that I felt like really saw me to my core. You have to keep in mind that at this point, me and Casey had drifted. She moved out of state. She was starting her family. We had drifted. It was really rough on me as well. And Ruby saw that and saw how alone I was and saw how much I was struggling. She would spend a lot of time at my house. We were together a lot. To the point that we got each other Christmas gifts that were literally the exact same thing for the exact same reason. It was kind of crazy. She was also very into witchcraft and crystals, and we had the same passions when it came to music, when it came to TV shows, when it came to everything. We're just very much aligned on everything. I really needed somebody like her. Somebody that was just like me, who wasn't made fun of and who made me feel seen. I was talking to her one day about things I didn't even realize were traumatic, but were trauma. And for the first time, she told me that she understood and that I was right to feel the way I felt. She told me that she understood that I was always the backup friend. And because I was always the backup friend and the second choice, that's why I tried to change my personality so much. I tried to fit in so much. But why try to fit in? If these people only had me as a backup friend, why try to fit in with them? Why not find the friends that love me for who I am, for my real personality? And that was the wake-up call that I really needed. I do genuinely miss Ruby so much. After all of that, I started being more myself. I was way back into YouTube. I was so happy to be back into YouTube. I'd already been back into it before that, but now I started telling people in my life about it more. I was making YouTube my priority again. And I had never been happier than doing that. When I was with groups of people and we would be playing music and they'd be like, oh, let's turn on Rihanna, let's turn on Beyonce. I'd be like, hey, okay, because that's what you guys want to listen to, but we're also gonna throw some Fall Out Boy in there. I started enforcing boundaries and having my own personality. Then things at work started shifting. I had a coworker that we'll just call Frat Bro, because that was his personality. Frat Bro loved to do subtle put-me-downs and not so subtle put-me-downs to me. I still would be hiding parts of myself because, again, I was getting put down left and right. And then something absolutely wonderful happened. My job hired Gabby. Gabby and I were two peas in a pod. We were very much the exact same person. Gabby and I both had very strong political beliefs that were the same political beliefs. We were queer, we're neurodivergent, we're the exact same person. Even Frat Bro absolutely loved her. He started making plans with groups at work that he would intentionally exclude me from. And it got to the point where Gabby said, why is Maya not invited? You need to stop excluding Maya. And then funny story, Gabby and I are still so close that she was my bridesmaid and she doesn't talk to Frat Bro anymore, so like, joke's on him. Seeing somebody exactly like me being accepted made me realize, okay, there's nothing wrong with me being me. Gabby was very vocal about her love for One Direction and Jonas Brothers, to the point that I brought her to a Jonas Brothers concert, but I got made fun of for talking about my love of Fall Out Boy. Then something else also wonderful happened. Work hired my friend Audrey, who again is exactly like me. And again, Frat Bro loved Audrey, but still made fun of me. Audrey and I always say we are same person, different font. She is exactly like me. and everyone loves her. And I guess that one of the moments where it really clicked for me was I would never let anybody speak ill of Gabby or Audrey. Never in a million years. If they even tried, I would fight immediately. They are just like me. Why would I ever let people treat me the way that they treat me, but I wouldn't let them treat Gabby or Audrey that way? Why do I feel like I need to hide who I am because I'm a weirdo? But if anyone even insinuated that one of them was a weirdo, I'd fight them. When I would hang out with my friends that just wanted to smoke and drink, if that's what you want to do, if that's your taste, that's fine. But that's not the environment I wanted to be in. I wanted to be cozy and comfy and my weird little emo self. You know, when 2020 hit and I started dating my now husband, I really let go of anything that was holding me back from being me. I had a friend that when I started dating my now husband told me, I liked you better when you were with your ex. You were more fun then. When I told one of my other friends about that, his immediate response was, oh, you mean when you were miserable and crying every single day? She liked me better when I was miserable because I just wanted to drink to forget what was going on in my life. She liked me better when I was miserable because I repressed myself. She liked me better when I was miserable because she could feel better about her own life. So screw it. I'm gonna be myself. Luckily, not long after I started dating my now husband, I reconnected with one of my good friends from middle school, and she reminded me of who I was. Obviously, Casey and I reconnected during this time as well, and we are back to exactly how we were. My husband even says he could tell the difference. When we got together, I was myself, but not fully. He said that as soon as I started talking to Casey daily again, he could see the light coming back into my eyes. He saw when I stopped hiding myself, when I started surrounding myself with people that brought out the real me and that I wasn't trying to blend in and be normal around. He saw how much better of a person I was, how much happier I was. It got to the point where even where I got my hair done had to change. Don't get me wrong, I love my old hairstylist. The girl that brought me to blonde, I adore her. Lindsay, you're absolutely amazing. But the salon that she was at was very much a luxury salon. And if you've stepped foot in a luxury salon, you know the vibe. Everything is bleach blonde, high heels, designer purses. I'm the girl that would show up there in ripped jeans and a band t-shirt and Doc Martens, and I looked completely out of place. Lindsay never judged me, and Lindsay loved that I was like that, but I definitely felt judged by some of the other stylists and clients. That's not why I stopped going to her though. I stopped going because I was literally always at the salon that my friend owns. So my friend that owns the other salon started doing my hair, but I didn't feel authentically me going to Lindsay's salon anymore. Going to the salon that my friend owns now, I feel me again. I'll show up in a band tee and ripped jeans with my Doc Martens, and my friend Steph, who owns the salon, will be wearing fishnets and an anime t-shirt, and we vibe. Surrounding yourself with people that are your vibe and that love you for you. Even then, I was so quiet and I didn't fully share myself with her at first. Once I really started sharing myself and opening up with her, oh my god, like, this girl's become one of my best friends because I've stopped trying to fit in and I've started being myself. And honestly, social media has helped so much. I feel more comfortable being myself and talking about the things that I always tried to hide to be normal. I follow some amazing creators that are neurodivergent. I'm mutuals with one of my favorite neurodivergent creators. Monica has made me feel so comfortable following her lead and talking about how to improve my life while dealing with being neurodivergent. Watching her overcoming so much while also fighting her neurodivergency, learn to work with it instead of against it, it's motivated me so much to talk about my neurodivergency. Then there's the fandom side of social media. Following fangirls that aren't afraid to talk about being fangirls, and that entire side of it has helped me also talk about my fangirlism, which is a big part of who I am. My husband and I like going to conventions. He's a horror nerd. I enjoy horror, not to the extent that he does. I don't feel ashamed or weird to say that I went to this horror convention, or I went to this convention, or I went to this convention. Back in the day, that was considered weird. Now, thanks to social media, it's normalized. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the term normalized is the problem, because this isn't us trying to be normal. This is just us being true to ourselves. I guess that normal doesn't have any real meaning. Everyone's version of normal is different. At the end of the day, just be authentic. Stop trying to fit in, because then your people will never find you. When I looked at the people that surrounded me and I said, if I didn't live in the same city as these people, if I didn't work with some of these people, would I choose to be friends with them? If I didn't question that, I don't know where I'd be. Now I view it as those people, I consider them friends of convenience. That doesn't mean I'm only friends with them because it's convenient, but the way they came into my life was convenient. It was easier to be friends with them than not to be friends with them. Look at those people that you surround yourself with, the friends of convenience. Would you choose to be friends with them if you didn't live near them or work with them or go to school with them? If you wouldn't choose to be friends with them anyways, why are you trying to fit in to get their acceptance? To me, it's the friends that you make because of shared interests that are the most important friendships and the deepest friendships. My friend that lives in Canada, that I travel up to Canada to visit and she travels down here to see me. My friends out in California that I go out there to see them. We're friends because we bonded over the same interests. We care about each other, we care about the same things. Those are the friendships that are important to me, the ones that you choose to be friends with. That is not to say that I am not still good friends with some of my former coworkers. I love so many of them, and yes, I would choose to be friends with them even if we didn't work together. The people that come into your life are meant to find you. Some are to be your friends, some are to teach you a lesson. Meeting Ruby was 100% to teach me that it's okay to be myself. I don't need to try to be who other people want me to be, and I don't need to try to be normal. Ruby taught me to be me. Frat Bro taught me to be me, to spite people that will still make fun of me. And that's what I decided. I don't want to fit in. I want to find the right people. I want to find my people. Finding Ruby when I did, I finally found someone just like me. And I knew that there were more of them out there. I knew I would find my people eventually. And I have. I may not have a huge community, but I've built a little community and I'm so happy about it. Just by being my weirdo, emo, fangirl, neurodivergent self. I always say that I live life by the motto of be who you needed when you were younger. When I was young, I needed somebody to tell me that it was okay to be me. And that's what I'm doing. It's okay to be you. You don't need to fit in. You just attract the wrong people when you try to be normal. Be you. Love what you love. Love it loudly and proudly. I literally ended up with a husband who asked to watch One Tree Hill with me because he knows it's my favorite show and suggested we get a One Tree Hill wall in our home. We have a One Tree Hill wall because he suggested it. If I tried to be normal and hid my love of One Tree Hill, would I have this? When you are unapologetically yourself, the right people will find you. Even when I was getting made fun of by certain coworkers for focusing on YouTube, I had another coworker that was streaming on Twitch and was encouraging me every single day. Being yourself might sting at first. You might feel rejection from people, but you'll find the right people. And that's worth so much more than having the wrong people in your life. So I guess that's the moral of the story. Be cringe, be weird, be yourself. Because the right people will find you. Life is way too short to spend it doing things that you don't enjoy doing just to fit in. Have you ever had a moment when you just decided that you were done with pretending to be somebody that you're not? Let me know what your moment was. Clearly, I've had a few little mini breakthroughs, but I had one quite definitive breakthrough. Comment down below and let me know about your breakthrough moment. If you like my chaotic honesty and I don't really know what the hell is going on vibe, make sure to subscribe. I put out new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and also alternating Mondays and Fridays. Also, when you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell, otherwise YouTube will never tell you when I post new videos. It's a little bit broken like that. If you like this video or it helped you at all, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It actually helps way more than you know. The algorithm is the algorithm. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
I don't know, but I've been told the world outside is oh so cold. So cold.